So, remember guys, last is our broadcast live online. If you ever miss something or if I go too fast, you can always rewatch it. Okay? Now, or if you're not here, you can actually be there live and be participating if you actually. You can even post a question. Although I probably won't notice it because I'm not actually on the chat room. But you could actually be live on the video. So what I want to show you guys really quick, I have a new addition to the mastery tracking sheet. Now, as I add things to this, it gets so massive that working on it on a tablet or a phone is not very user-friendly. You really need to be able to do it on a computer. All right? Because the reason is because I have to have several versions so people can use it at the same time. Are you with me? And then the bigger the sheet gets, the longer it takes to load. Are you with me? And so there's a limitation, inherent limitation on that, unfortunately, if you're going to do the. So what I'm showing you right now is the new additions that have been made to that. There's two new tables. And I'm going to try to get closer here so you guys can see it. So you know there's like a ranking one, and then there's like a student tracking sheet that you can see all your points and whatever. This is a new one. This is Biology Boss Performance Report. Okay. The bosses are the tests, right? So then you can see here what you did in any given thing. I need someone that doesn't mind being a volunteer, right? Felix, yes. What's up?
What do you need?
A number.
Oh, my player code?
Yeah.
020. 53. 51.
Okay. So this is what Felix got on the baseline. You see what it says? Right? So and that, by the way, the EOC passing rate will be like 50%. So at the baseline, he was almost passing. Right? This is the percentage that he got correct on the baseline for the material that belongs to the first test of the year. What's the first test of the year? If you ever crash questions like that, all right? Oh, it's missing from here. I'm gonna add it. I'm gonna add it here because it's missing. I'm gonna add another tab over there that says biology objectives and test codes. Okay. So when you see an objective list or a test code listed, you can go there and see what the code is. Are you with me? All right. But test 1 is ecology. We know that, right? So that means on the baseline, Felix got 91% of the ecology stuff right. Are you with me? So that means Felix already knew ecology to begin with. And that's actually very common because ecology, a lot of it is covered in middle school. You go over the same things again. Certainly the version of ecology that I did went into more depth. And those of you who did not study the red key terms, hopefully you learn from the lesson from that. And then at least your notes have to have it because on the FRQs, you're going to be asked to have them. So even though that's only affecting about 10% of your test grade, all right? The multiple choice was worth 90% of your grade, and the free response was worth 10% of the grade. But the majority of you guys bombed that, right? Because you didn't study it. Now, I'm not going to change my standard because you didn't do your part. I did my part. I recorded the videos. I made all the materials available to you. I was here available for you guys to ask questions. You decided not to cover it when you weren't prepared for that. That matters. But even with that, the average performance, and we can look at that, by the way, in a second, the average performance in the test was pretty good. All right? Now, this is the average of all the tests that he has gotten. Since there's only one test so far, then he has 91, right? So this is, again, Felix's average on ecology. Sorry, I said the wrong thing. This is 47% is what he got on the baseline. 91 is what he got on the ecology test. Are you with me? And then that's his average for all class tests, not counting the baseline, since you only have one. But later in the year, we have more tests. You can see your test average over here. Are you with me? So I'm correcting what I said before. This is not what the percentage of the baseline of ecology that he got right. Are you with me? This is what he got in ecology. So Felix did really good. He actually got an A before the curve on the test, right? Which is, you know, is that correct, Felix, or is something wrong with this?
I don't really know.
All right. Well, that's what it says. All right. But anyways, this student, whoever the student is, now improvements from the baseline. What that tells you is that compared to the baseline score that for the ecology topic, he improved his score by 33%. Right? So for example, if you got 91% on the ecology test, that means the part of the baseline that was about ecology was 33% less than that. Are you with me? So the Felix learns some ecology and biology. Right? And then look at this. This is really cool. 5th period's middle school average improvement is 36%. All right? Now, when you have talking about honor students, getting 5% increase is awesome, because that means that you're learning new things. But honor students typically do well already to begin with. So when you get 5% increase, is already awesome. We got 30%, 6% better than the baseline. And the high school was about 23% better. In fact, this is the period of all my periods that show the greatest increase. All the middle schoolers of this period show us the greatest increase. And they also had the highest percentage score, because you can see the average by period here. All right, are you with me? This is actually really cool. Now, this is the average gain. Eventually, when there are more tests, you're going to be able to see what your average gain throughout the test is. So you'll be able to see if I'm learning enough biology, am I getting ready for the COC? Are you with me? After we take the midterm, there's going to be new columns here that are going to project your EOC score based on your average gain. But that only starts after the midterm. Are you with me? Okay, so low objectives. That is a count of how many objectives this student scored less than 50% on the test. So that means there's only one objective that this student has to worry about, because he didn't cover 50%, he didn't learn 50% of it. Are you with me? So this is really cool. Now, so this is a summary for the baseline assessment. There appears to be an error with the reference here, so I'll have to pull out and fix that. But oh, it's because the name was wrong. Baseline. I'll fix that. Don't worry about it. But in here, you have the percentage of the baseline that Felix got correct. All right? In here, you have the percentage of the baseline that he got correct on the material that was for the first test. So you see, that's the number. So on the baseline, he was 58% correct in ecology. But then on the ecology test, he was what? 90. That's why he got that 33% increase. Are you with me what I'm saying? So, and you can see the topics that you were weakest on. Are you with me? So for example, this student, topic 3, I better pay attention to that topic, because I what? That's the one I'm what? The weakest. You see what that says? According to the baseline, I have no idea about topic of the third test. Are you with me? So this can tell you where you're at, and how much harder you have to work on that topic to really make sure you gain enough to prepare for the OC. Is that clear for everybody?
Yes, sir.
All right? It's pretty cool, right? Now, it's missing right now, but all there is over here is literally this will tell you on the top. I'll fix it in a second. But all this will tell you on the top is the number of the tests to which this question of the this strand. These are all the all this is that here are the objectives of the test, right? You can't see it because there's an error on the reference, but this will say, for example, objective. You know the ones you copy? It will say like 17.2. You know what I'm saying? So it will say, for example, I don't know which objective that is, but if it says 17.2, that means 33%. That means that objective in the baseline here was low. And then on top, it will tell you which test is that objective going to fall on. Are you with me? That's not so interesting, but this is. So this is the ecology test, and again, this is the objectives which are not showing up. But in here you can tell how you did per objective. So for example, this student that we're looking at right now got every single one of those questions correct for those objectives. This objective, he missed 1 or 2. Are you with me? There is one objective, that one, that he was below 50%. And that actually happens to be that long passage. All right? So it wasn't really an ecology problem. It was more of a reading problem. Are you with me? So that means Felix, ready to go for the OC for ecology. Are you with me? But you need to watch out more for those reading passages. All right? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So this is just an idea what you can use this for. You can see where you're at, where you did bad on, and later at the end of the year, we're going to use this to recover, to fix ourselves, to target or review, to make sure that you review the thing you're weakest on first. Are you with me? I'm not like, I don't, okay, there's a difference between pride and hubris. You guys know the difference between pride and hubris? Being proud is when you think you're better than other people because of who you are and you just think you're awesome. Are you with me? And then you're like, oh, I'm proud of myself. You know what I'm trying to say? And that sounds bad. Doesn't it sound bad? You like pride people?
No.
Not so much, right? Hubris is a little different. Hubris is when you do something good and you acknowledge that you did something good, but you don't necessarily say, that doesn't mean that other people are worse than me. You just, so I say with hubris, not pride, that no one in this school, no teacher, puts together something like this for you guys to look at your progress in dating preparation for a standardized assessment test. All right? You have the advantage of being with someone that's going to help you target your review to help you get better. Are you with me? I'm trying to say? Now, I'm going to try to inspire other teachers to do this, but geometry, you should be able to do this for every class. But for biology, you will always be able to tell how you did in the test, what you did better on, what objective you were the weakest in, and so forth. Are you with me? So, take a look at this when you have time. Look at your data. Look at the way other classes have done. How did you compare to the class average, to other classes? Are you with me? And see where you're at. Just so you know, the average on the ecology test for our class was 81% for the middle school and 72% for the high schoolers. There's something about middle schoolers taking biology. It always happens. I think it's because if you're already in middle school and you're already taking biology, it means you already are a good student. Are you with me what I'm saying? So they tend to have higher scores because of that. Are you with me what I'm saying? They're already special. There's something special about them because they're already early. But I would really like, who's a high schooler over here? Isn't it about time we put them in their place?
Oh, no.
Alright? So for the next test, let's show them who's a boss. Alright? Okay? But, check it out. Hey, period 5's performance on that was a 76%. Last year's average performance for my honors classes were about 73%. So you guys did better than them. But what's more impressive is that your baseline scores were worse than their baseline scores. What? Alright? So you guys got the same baseline they got last year. Right? And the same ecology test they got last year. Alright? Jumbled up and everything. Are you with me? But my class from last year had a worse baseline, a better baseline than you did, and a worse ecology test result. What does that mean, scientists? Right?
That we were more ecology.
Right. Means you were a weaker group to begin with, but now you're a stronger group than they are as far as ecology is concerned, which means you did well. All right? So I am proud of you guys, and I want to focus on that. I also want you guys to realize, this is important, that this is the raw score. If there was the UC, that 81% would have been, on average, that's a 5. So on average, middle school's got a 5 in this class for the UC score. Now, of course, the free response, which throws in the honors thing, lowered that percentage a little bit. The average result in the test after the free response for this class was 68%. Okay? Now, 68% without a curve. If you consider the AP curve that normally is there, every year until this year I've used it, right? It would have been a B average. That's pretty good. All right? It's just that, why do I curve the test anymore? Because the class has a curve in it. That's what the levels are. You build your own curve as you go through it. Remember this next quarter and from now on. Is everybody clear on that? The next document that you have here is the Biology Ecology Test Reporter. That shows you reports only for this test. Okay? I don't know who the student is, but it's a random student, okay, that's already in there. Remember to delete your ID number after user sheet, right? Otherwise it becomes visible for everybody. But you can see here your average performance on the test. You can see what the curve grade would have been if there was a EOC and what that means you would have gotten on the EOC. Is that clear? So this student got 60% of the test correct, which means this student would have gotten a 77% on the curved score, and that would have been a 4 on the EOC. Are you with me? A 4 on the EOC. Now, for each question, this is the questions, 1 through 50, that you took. Are you with me? And then the questions that say 0, what does that mean?
You're wrong.
You got them wrong, yes. I'll get them. Sorry about that. Are you with me? The zeros means you got it wrong. So what you can do then, you can make a list ahead of time of all the ones you got wrong, come to class and say, Mr. these are the ones that we got wrong, I want to do corrections. Is that clear? So ahead of time, come with a list of the ones you missed, and so you can do corrections. Is that clear for everybody? All right. Next thing, if you scroll past that, you see it organized by objectives. So for example, this student, on this objective, no problem. That objective, no problem. That objective, right in the limelight. 50% is okay. Less than 50%, not passing the EOC. Got to review that objective. Are you with me? That objective, whatever that is, you got to go over it because you didn't learn it. Are you with me? That objective, great, great. Okay, no problem, no problem. That one, got to review below 50%. Are you with me what I'm saying? So that's kind of how this works. You can see where your strengths and your weaknesses were. Everybody clear on that? There is going to be a third file, another tab that says this code translates it for you into what it is about. Are you with me? So this is really awesome stuff for you guys to see how you did and how you can improve. I cannot stress this enough. I don't have enough time to do this in class, but I strongly recommend that you do corrections for the test, because you need to find out what you got wrong. Was it because you didn't learn it? Or was it because you made mistakes when you were reading it? Was it because you timed yourself not well enough? Are you with me? What went wrong that costed you that thing? Is that with me? Are you guys with me on this? All right? Okay, so next thing I'm going to talk about then, switching gears from this, is about, it's time to switch it up. First and foremost, we are starting now, starting as of right now, pretty much, this is today, the next class will be the last things we're going to learn for mastery for this quarter, all right? And you can still earn points for coming to corrections and stuff like that. If you're just this close to the next letter grade, you'll probably make it, right? If you're more than 5% away from the next letter grade, you're probably not going to make it. Just be happy with what you got, all right? Now, if you're like 2%, 3%, there's still a chance you can make it, all right? Now, let's talk about something else. Today is the first day of microevolution. What do you have to do today? That's correct. You start studying for the next topic, which means tonight you go home, you copy the objectives, you do a little warm-up task, and you start watching videos or going to the advanced notes or whatever you use to collect information. You're going to have to create notes that you can then use to study. Are you with me? That you should spend 5 days on. The last 2 days you should be studying those notes, memorizing that stuff, get it in your head. If you don't do the process this way, you will continue to be where you're at. You're not going to get better. If you're already doing the process, good for you. If you're not, start doing the process. Start today. Oh, but I haven't studied evolution. I haven't studied micro. Forget the past. Start with macro, all right, and move on from now on. Start today. Do it right. Is that clear what I'm trying to say? And then try to catch up the past. The next test evolution. So if you haven't done the evolutionary theory and microevolution topics correctly, eventually you have to do it. But first, worry about the future. This is a very big advice for life. When you screw up the past, you can't fix it. Is it possible to fix the past?
Nope.
You cannot fix the past. Well, tomorrow is the 21st of October of 2015. In Back to the Future, they go to that date.
Dun, dun, dun.
So that's the future of Back to the Future. What part of it happens in May, that already happened, and part of it happens tomorrow. The second time they go back. When they go back to the future, they go to tomorrow, right? So there's going to be a skit in the cafeteria tomorrow about Back to the Future. Some crazy science teacher is going to be part of it, you know. But so just watch out for that. I'll do it. We'll do it in both of them. But but the cool thing about that is unless you make a time machine, you cannot fix the future, the past. When you come to me 2 days before the quarter ends and say, what can I do to fix my grade? My answer is, build a time machine. Because, no, it really is. Because I gave you lots of opportunities for extra credit. All right? I gave you everything you needed to review for this test. I told you to do the self-assessments. I gave you that study guide for Mr. Ramos was prepared based on the FRQ, the multiple choice question, sorry. And as far as the FRQ is concerned, yes, I threw a curveball at you, but I told you to study the hierarchy terms, otherwise you wouldn't be. The honor stuff is the difference between an A and a B in test. I said that. So now you know. So the evolutionary theory thing, you got to make sure your notes reflect that, because when you get to use your notes in the test, at least you have that. So if you know a little bit of the hierarchy terms, you start working on those while you can't use it, right? And then the last few moments when you can't use the notes, you take them out, and then you you have notes to do it with. You could use notes. You had a huge curve. You only needed 25 out of 100 points on the response to get a perfect score, right? You had enough time. Believe it or not, this is the other thing. You gotta practice under intensity for the future. And remember this: you gotta practice with the GLQ practice questions that are there with the self-assessment, and you gotta practice to do a maximum of 1 minute per question. Are you with me? Because that's what you're gonna be expected of you in test, right? So you got to practice to move at that speed. That's not too fast. 1 minute per question, you should be able to have done it. Now you actually, let's say you spend more than a minute per question. Let's say 60 minutes to finish the 50 questions. All right? There was a passage you had to read, whatever. You still should have had 40 minutes left to do the multiple choice, free response. Most of you guys started working on it with 15 minutes left. So what did you learn from that test? You need to do what? Pace yourself better. Are you with me? Gotta pace yourself better. The next thing that I want to talk about, okay, and this is a learning curve. Throughout the year, we're going to get better at it. By the time USC comes, we're going to destroy it. Okay? Now, one thing I want to say about studying that. Let's switch it up a little bit. I already talked about making sure you do the process right. Now let's talk about how to take notes, right? I have so many podcasts there. You don't have to watch only mine. You can watch others. You should maybe watch others to see if you like them better. Learn more from them. But one thing that matters is this. Whatever is in the USC objectives, any words that show up in there, you've got to know that stuff because it's going to be on the quiz for sure. So, for example, for the objectives for Microevolution, who has a note so you can read it to me, the objectives for Microevolution? Do it now. Who has it? Raise up your hand. I'll give out labels. Go ahead. Miss Sanchez, right? Go ahead. Read it.
Discuss mechanisms of evolutionary change other than natural selection.
Okay, stop. Discuss mechanisms of evolutionary change other than natural selection. Do we know some? All right, yeah, go ahead, give it one. All right, let's throw out some mechanisms of microevolution other than natural selection. Let's see. Catherine, what do you got? Sophia, yes. No? Christopher Dorta, yes. Something that makes things evolve other than natural selection. If the quiz was today, you would be in trouble. What did you say? That's natural selection. Megan Fernandez. What if the quiz was today? Darian Famiro. What if the quiz was today, right? Ariel.
Oh, you kidding?
All right.
Yes, at least I guess.
Something about genetics. Madison Morales.
Genetic drift.
Genetic drift. All right. Random small changes that occur because of small populations. All right. Okay. Let's see. Felix Rios.
Okay.
Genetic flow or migration. Okay, Diego Rivera. Mutations. There you go. The other one is non-random mating, right? So there you go. You see, if that is in the objectives, it means I have to what? I have to know it. Keep reading it. Right. So which means of all the 5, which one you absolutely have to know about? Drift and gene flow. Is there any other objective for microevolution? All right, keep going. That's basically the same objective from last topic, where it just goes into the natural selection business. Because selection is still part of this topic, because it's one of the 5 mechanisms, right? And then what is the other one?
Describe the conditions required for natural selection.
Again, the same as last topic. It was showed up last topic again, right? So basically, it was only one new thing, which is adding the mechanisms of evolution. They are not. So that is what you really need to know. Now, when you look at the lecture guide, it's a lot more than that. Are you with me? Now, the lecture guide is honors bio. That is an EOC biology. So when I ask you the quiz, it's going to be focused. 80% of the quiz is going to be on that stuff. So you're going to pass the quiz if you know the 5. In fact, if I had the quiz today, that's what I would have asked you. Give me the 5 mechanisms of microevolution and an example of each. That's it. All right? So that's it. Now, but then I would throw in about more than 2 questions if that's in the lecture guide. Like, for example, what do you call the kind of mimicry where 2 bad things mimic each other to send a message stronger? Yes?
Is it
Bayesian mimicry. Right. Now you see, that's honors. But it's okay, 1 question out of 10. It's not going to break your quiz grade. Are you with me? But that's what that goes in. And by the way, that video is super interesting. Did you guys know, for example, that flowers mimic the sex organs of bugs so that the bugs can go? Mimicry is so interesting because it shows you that evolution, the pressure to evolve, is not just to get resources. It's sometimes there's sexual selection. There's different types of selection. It's not just selection to get resources. It's not just competition for resources. It's competition for mates, right? Competition to run away from the predator. Competition to catch the prey, right? We'll talk more about this in a second. So anyways, I just kind of encourage you guys to do the process correctly. All right? Otherwise, I know what's happening here. I have to stop the camera because it froze. So I'm going to repeat this on 7th period and record that one because the video kind of got tagged. All right? All right. So let's talk about microevolution, and then we're going to have a little more time to do the evidence for evolution activity. We're going to continue with that in a second. I told you guys to pass out something for me. Did you guys pass it out? Okay. And then I have the same documents over here. You guys can find the pros and the cons things, right? Remember that the first thing you need to achieve is finding from each article a few pieces of evidence pro and 2 evidence con. You need to look at 3 articles, your own, and 2 more sources for each side. Is that clear? Once you do that, you're going to write the essay that I'm going to put the instructions on the board. But today, you're just going to have a little more time to work on that. First, I'm going to talk about the mechanisms of microevolution. So let's do that really quick. By the way, this topic goes into a lot more stuff. So from now on, we're going to step by step. At the ending of this discussion, you have an opportunity to ask me about any honors content question that you don't understand. Something that's the red key term, the stuff that's not in the objectives, but that you would like me to clarify. Are you with me? For that, you have to have gone over it at home already. Because I never mentioned anything about those red key terms. But it's going to show up in the test FRQ, so you want to make sure that you have a chance to ask about it. So if I'm done covering what's important, I'm going to say, do you have any other questions? And then there's a chance you can ask me. If you don't ask me, that's it. All right? So, let's talk about microevolution. Let me just open this thing. Remember to leave either marginal space on your notes. So if you think about the piece of paper, I was talking about that, I almost forgot. Different ways to take notes. All right? So, you can take notes with 2-column notes where you put the key term on the left side, information on the right side. That's what I taught you in the beginning. You just do 3 run-on notes that look like an outline the way most of you guys do. I'm going to throw something else at the mix. You can actually get each key term from the lecture guide and make a flashcard out of it. And on the other side, you put the answer. But then that has to be in your notebook. So what do you do? So on your notebook, you literally put a pouch, right? Sorry about that. So you get a piece of paper, glue it on top, create a pouch, put all the flashcards in there, that's your notes.
Lima?
Yes.
Excuse me, can you please take 3rd period and 5th period attendance?
Yes, I'm having internet issues. But I'm trying. I'll do that soon.
Okay, I need to submit it to the district. I need you to do it as soon as possible, please.
Okay, I'll try to do it on my phone if I can. It's not working. Everything's frozen there. Yeah, I was talking to you guys and I forgot. Mariana Cortaya is not here, right? Mariana?
No, it's not here.
She's not here. Okay. Where was I? Oh, yes. So you can do flashcards. Here's why I like, I'll tell you why I like flashcards in a second when it comes to time for the study part of it. Okay? The other thing you can do, you know the same folder you can find the lecture guide. If you don't know it, make sure you should know what the lecture guide is. But it's on the study guide folder, right? For each topic. Now the study guide folder of the topic also has study guides, like literally study guides. And what they are is questions. A bunch of questions. If you get that study guide and you compare with the PowerPoint, let's see the PowerPoint presentation folder, and you just like have the PowerPoint open and the questions open, the questions will be answered in the order that they show up on the PowerPoint. Are you with me? And that's another way to take notes. So instead of taking notes from my videos, whatever, you can just go to the PowerPoint and answer all the study guide questions. And that's acceptable as well. Now, which app you can do the textbook, and then that's fine. You can take notes like that. Well, however you do it, you're probably going to cover the EOC objectives. But if your notes are just from the PowerPoint using the study guide, or just from the textbook, right? Or you just do the advanced notes, and you don't ever check against the lecture guide, you're going to be missing a lot of the other stuff in there. Are you with me? But you're still going to pass the OC, you're still going to do well in the class, right? You're still going to pass the quizzes. But now the key is not just taking notes, though. How you study them. So we talked about this in the first week of school. We're talking about it remind you again. If you're doing 2-column notes, this is why I prefer 2-column notes over rundown notes. You write the key term on the left side, right? Pay attention. With your eyes is what you pay attention to. You write the key term on the left side and information on the right side. Then what you do is you get a piece of paper and you cover up the right side, and then you have the definitions and you have to figure out what word that is, right? Or you cover up the right side and you have the word, and you have to talk about what it is without reading it. With me. If you can't say what's in here without looking, you put a little negative sign next to that. When I look at your notes, when I check them, I never see anybody doing that. Right? Start doing that. Like legit start doing that. So for example, she has notes here. So she has the types of evolution. So, you know what the types of evolution are? Dark version, curved version. Good. So you put a plus sign if you can talk about it. Okay? If you don't know, you put a negative sign. You go through your entire notes doing that. When you get to the end, there's a bunch that you have negative. Go back to them, do them again. Until everything is positive. The next day you do it again. If everything is still positive, put a check mark. Boom, I'm ready for the quiz. How many people study like that? That's what you got to do. Because if you come to the class without practicing, and this is the first time you're getting quizzed, you fail. But if you quiz yourself before the quiz, because it's okay, guys. Think about it. The first time, how many people hit a 3-point shot the first time they tried? Think about it. There are some people that just get lucky. But the majority of people fail a lot before they succeed. Are you with me? So if you don't want to fail in the quiz, where do you have to fail a lot? Before the quiz. When is that? At home. So quiz yourself 1,000,000 times. So when you come to class, that's why you can't take notes 2 days before it's due. Because 2 days before you do, you're supposed to be doing what? Quizzing yourself. Are you with me? Now, you need to know what studying is. Quiz yourself. If you're doing, this is why I like flashcards even better than 2-column notes. Because what the 2-column notes you can't do with the or you can, but you have to jump around to do that. On the flashcards, you can literally shuffle them. Because sometimes you memorize the words not because you know what they are, but because you memorize the sequence of the answer. Are you with me? But if you shuffle the flashcards, now here's what you can do. You can have one flashcard, a pocket for things you know, a pocket for things you don't know, right? And you just go, okay, I do this, put it in a pocket, do it, put it in a pocket. And then once you don't know, you put them here. Then you get all the ones where you didn't know, do work on them again, until everything is in the pocket of things you know, and that's how you do it. You memorize all the words. You know all the information. You go over it again and again until you got it. The next day you go through the flashcards again. Right? You want to take notes like that? You want to try to take notes like that? Fine, do it. I'm going to use the lecture guide instead. Fine. Use the lecture guide. Every word in the lecture guide is a thing you need to know, right? So, look at the word. Can I explain it? If not, what do you do? Put a negative sign next to it. Right? If you know it, put a plus sign next to it. Go through the entire lecture guide like that. When you get to the end of it, especially the black stuff. The black stuff is most important, right? When you get to the end of it, go back to the beginning, look at all the negatives. When everything's positive, work on it again the next day, make sure everything's check marked. Here's another way to do it, with the study guide. 90 questions, right? Number 1, can I answer without looking at the answer? No, put a negative sign. Go through the whole thing until everything is positive. Are you with me? That is how you do it. If you don't learn this skill, legit, you're not going to survive in college. Like seriously. You've got to self-quiz. You've got to self-quiz, right? For any class like history, social studies, science, anything that has a lot of that's an information-heavy class. Now here's the thing about this. That test, was it factual? Think about it.
No.
Did it have definitions a lot? No. No? How about the FRQ? Very factual?
Yes.
There were some, but the majority of them were application questions. There was some factual, like list of parts of the nitrogen cycle. Alright? There were some factual ones, but the majority of them differentiate between resource partitioning and character displacement. That is an analysis question, because now you're differentiating between two things. So that means, just like I teach you at a higher level here, the test is at a higher level. But if you don't come with the facts already, it's hard to get deep. That is what this method is designed to do. Are we clear? Are you on the same page? I am teaching you how to study. Make sure you actually do it. If you start 2 days before the thing is due, you can't do this right. You can't. Ideally, actually, the real smart ones spend less time taking notes and more time studying. But that takes time to develop. Eventually, you can do like 3 days of note taking. Let's be honest. Who took notes this quarter in 2 days right before the quiz is due? How many times have you done that? So is it or is it not possible to take notes in 2 days? Right. If you did that though, that will give you 5 days to study. Now you can break it down to chunks. Today I'm going to study this section. Tomorrow I'm going to study that section. Are you with me? The last day you go over the whole thing again. If you come up to the quiz, throw it, Mr. Leon. Bring it. I know everything. On the other hand, if you take notes the night before, when are you doing this part, the study part? Are you with me? 30 minutes a day, every day. That's the secret. Including Saturday and Sunday. That's the secret. You do that, you get a D in this class for sure. Alright? If you really want an A, it's more than that. But the reality of it is, you can do it. You proved to yourself you did amazing without even doing it right. If you did it right, all of us will get 5s. And that's the other thing. I wasn't kidding. I didn't do it this quarter, but I'm doing it the next quarter. That whole group thing, next quarter, the next quiz we have, it starts. If you do not, if your group has someone that fails and brings your average down, it damages your group's mastery starting point. You start negatives. But if your whole group gets B's, you start what? With a bonus, right? So get together with your friends. By the way, we will reorganize groups at the start of the second 9 weeks based on the rankings of the people in the first 9 weeks. But they're not like the best together, the worst together. They're like one of the best with one of the worst, second the best, second the worst. It's like that. So they all averaged in the groups. Are you with me? There's always some are good, some are medium, some are average, some are worse. Right? Now, this is the thing. When you look at the class grade graph for you guys, it's really good. You guys are doing great. So I am really proud of you guys. I just want to make sure I took some time now, before we continue the year, at the end of ecology, to first do a reflection, tell you guys about this awesome data analysis thing, talk to you guys about, remind you guys that there's a right way and a wrong way to study, remind you guys to study, actually quiz yourself, plus negative check mark. Start doing that. Encourage you guys to come to correction so you can learn from your mistakes and then raise it to the next level. Alright? Okay. So let's talk about macroevolution in the last minutes that we have left. Alright? So Bozeman has an awesome video about this. Bozeman has an awesome video about this. If you haven't watched it, watch this video about it. But he goes over this really cool thing that is the 5 vectors of macroevolution in your hand. So I want you guys to, if you have space, you should have space either at the corner or at the end of your notes. So you can draw a little hand and remember of this. Okay? Now, what are we going to do with this? For each mechanism of macroevolution, we're going to name them, we're going to define them. Okay? Look. We're going to name them, we're going to define them, we're going to give an example, a bio example of it, and then we're going to give a human example of it. So we're going to do these 4 things for each mechanism, and we're also going to put them in the head. Right? So the first mechanism of macroevolution, in Roman times, at the end of the gladiator fight, people used to do this. Let him live, or let him die. So it's like the finger is doing selection. Are you with me? So our first mechanism of macroevolution is selection. Alright, so let's see. With the sigils, make sure you get Legos if the person participates correctly. Brian Vega, what's selection? Describe as best you can. We learned about it in the last topic, so it should be easy.
Selection is like when animals, isn't it not?
Yeah, what is that though? Explain it.
Like when weak animals die of the same species and the ones that have the traits survive.
Exactly. But it's not about survival. I like what you said, except I don't like what you define as survival. It's not about survival, it's about what? Reproduction. Very good, you knew it too. So go ahead and give him 2, 3 Legos. That was a very good answer. Alright? So it is about differential reproductive success based on having a best package of traits. Are you with me? So we know what it is, and we know the name, and we know what finger to put it on. Right? Now we need an example. Give me a biology example of something undergoing selection. At the end of last class, I talked about this. So let's see. Celeste, you have an example for me of something undergoing selection? I talked about it at the end of the class. I like some stuff like this. The mouse selection would be an example. All right. What did I say about bacteria? What's happening with the bacteria? Yes? Or herbicides, or pesticides, or medicine against viruses. That's why there's a new flu every year, right? Because it keeps what? Evolving. Because the ones that don't evolve die, and the ones that have the traits that allow this. And this is a misconception that people often have about evolution, by the way. If today natural selection acts on existing variation, this is very important, people. Natural selection does not create variation. Well, it creates variation between places, but it does not create new variety. So this is very important. I talked about it in the lecture, and I'll bring it in again. This is a very important point. People get confused. I cannot become a different color because of selection. So the only way the population's color changes, selection can change what color you have, the tendency to go to a different color, but the color has to already be there. Are you with me? So I'll give a better example of what this is talking about. If there is a world suddenly becomes necessary to breathe underwater, what happens to the human species? All of us die. All of us. Is there going to be a moment that we're going to evolve and suddenly start? No. The way it works is that when would we survive? If there was already someone that could do it, right? Then it wouldn't be the end of the mystery. I'll give you another example. If there was a disease that killed everybody that was white, would that be the end of the human race? No. Why not? Right. But if everybody was already black and the disease came and it killed everybody that was black, would we have time to suddenly mutate into white and solve the problem? That's not how selection works. Selection works on existing variation, which is why it's important to have what? That's correct, because if everybody's the same, one thing can kill us all. All right, so we did biological example. Is there an example you can think in human history of people being selected for or against? You get to survive, you don't get to survive. All right? You don't have to be politically correct. Okay? So you think about it, yes. The Holocaust. Isn't that selection? Right? It's pretty bad, but it's true. All right? Here's another example. Slavery. They bred together the bigger, stronger, best-looking slaves to make better slaves. Seriously, that's what they used to do. Right? All right? So that's selection. All right, so those are examples. Make sure you're writing stuff down, right? Because we're going over this thing. The next finger. What do we do with this finger usually? Point. Like you're going somewhere. So remember that. The next thing is gene flow. Now, flow means going from one place to the other. What's another name for gene flow? Sasha. When organisms go from one place to the other. What is that? Migration. Very good. Give her a link. Now, all right. So then, somebody explain what gene flow is all about then. Matthew? Matthew Martin, where are you? What's gene flow?
When they migrate to different places, it's like an ecosystem and they have to adapt.
But what is the whole? No, that's selection you're going into. Gene flow is when genes come from one place to the other. Are you with me? So when the ducks of one place migrate to another place and breed with the ducks of that new place, the genes of the other place end up. I'll give you an example. If there's gray wolves in one place and white wolves in the other place, are you with me? And they are allowed to interbreed, the gray wolf genes will affect the population of white wolves. Are you with me what I'm trying to say? Okay, so let's do example. I just gave the example. Right? That's a valid example right there. Use another example. Human example of migration, changing the genetic makeup of the population. Look at us. What's this example that I'm thinking of here? What's happening to America right now? Becoming more what? Why? Why? Because of migration. Now, is that changing the way Americans look? Yeah. Yes, because Hispanic looks. Now, how many migrations have occurred in the history of America? Think about it. A lot. You got the Europeans coming first, right, from the Anglos, from England. But then there were people that came from Ireland, then people came from Italy, there's people that came from Germany, people came from Asia, right? So that makes America a melting pot of diversity, right? But that's migration. Every time a flow comes, slavery brought black genes to America, right? So, okay. By the way, let me just throw something out there. Do you guys know? So, if it's a person of color, who considers themselves a person of color? Just wondering.
What do you mean by that?
You consider yourself a person of color, right? Black, African American, whatever you want to call it, right? Now, you know what's interesting? I don't consider myself a person of color. I come from like Caucasian families, for the most part. Maybe there's some Middle East in there somewhere, right? But for the most part, Caucasian. But Sasha is considered herself a person of color. I consider myself Caucasian. Give me somebody else who considers yourself white. I'm like white as it comes. You think you're white as it comes, right? Fine. She says a vampire. If we analyze our DNAs, there's a very good chance that I'm more similar to Sasha than I am to her. Do you understand that skin color is literally only skin deep? And that it's just facial structures, head structures, nose structures, and a few other things. But honestly, there's more differences sometimes between two white people than there is between two white and a black person. So think about what that means about race and why we need to stop, being racist. Right. I really what I'm trying to say? And I'm not even picking on Sasha, just like it could be anyone. Right? Next example. Alright. So, so what do you use this finger for? What does that mean though? What does that mean? I give you permission to say what it means. What does it mean? Right. So that's what it means. So this means your genes are fucked up. What is that called? Mutations. Alright? Are you with me what I'm saying? So messed up. Now, who's a mutant? Raise your hand.
Yeah.
We're all mutants. Because we're all different. And where do all of these where do all of these differences come from? From mutations. Hey. So, guys, all the variety that exists in life come from these genes and genetic makeup of the population, okay? So, mutations are changes either in the chromosome structure or in the gene sequence, alright? Which adds new variety to the genome. 99% of mutations will be deadly. Some of them will make no difference. But some of them actually add new features that may be advantageous depending on the environment. Are you with me? Okay, so that's mutations. Now, an example of biology. I don't know, it could be anything. Anything that makes something different from another thing is a mutation. Are you with me? So when we think of mutations, though, we think of bad stuff. So I'll give you an example of some bad mutations, like sickle cell anemia that makes you have disease, or Huntington's disease, or color blindness, or hemophilia. Later in the year, we're going to learn about some of these genetic disorders. But it's not just bad things that come from mutations. Good things, like intelligence, more strength, bigger speed, different eye colors. All of that is variety that comes from changes in genetic code. Is that clear for everybody? We'll cover this more later in the year, so skipping it for now. What do we do with this finger? Right there. If you like it. Alright. So, how's it go? Something like that. Alright, so that's the ring finger. What is it for? To choose a mate. To choose a mate. Because random mating stops evolution. Non-random mating causes it. Now, let me explain what that is. What non-random mating does is it concentrates the genes in that population. I'll give you an example. There is no such thing as random mating in the human species. You are not randomly mating with someone from the earth. You are going to choose who you mate with. But it's not even just that. Do you think you really choose your mate? Or do you think part of it is kind of like, not fate, but necessarily, but kind of like convenience? Do you have an equal chance of meeting everybody on the planet? Or are you more likely to meet the persons who go to the same school you go to, live in the same city you live in? Right? So is mating random? Or is it more localized and maybe even selected? Are you with me? Because of such things, for example, a biological example, all right? So, human example. In Norway, blue eyes, skin, and a white, fair skin color, and really pretty blonde hair. Not American dirty blonde hair, like the pretty blonde hair, in my opinion, right? Like, you're talking about that Nordic look of Rapunzel, right? Sure, right? That look, that Nordic look, is very common there, and very rare to not find there. Why? Because the people there have sex with people there. And it just stays that way. Now, at first, someone that looked that way went there, which is the next thing we're going to talk about in a second. But ever since then, they just kind of what? Non-random mate with themselves. And then because of that, the population becomes pretty homogeneous. There is me. So that's why they're so less diverse. Now, last one. Small populations. Small populations. That's what you have to remember. Now, because of small populations, you get something called genetic drift. Now, drift is when you lose control, isn't it? On the car, when you drift. So think of it this way. Drift is random shit that happens to the genes. Seriously. It's random stuff that happens to the genes because of small numbers. And we're going to do a lab next time because we're going to prove this. Genes change randomly because of this. Are you with me? So, if you like M&M's, don't mix next time because we're going to do a little activity with that. Alright? So, there are two classic examples of drift. Drift, by the way, in general, is any time the population is small, random changes will occur just because of that. But there are two classic examples of that. One is called bottleneck effect. Christina, do you know what bottleneck effect is? Right. And then, so let's say we have this. And now I'm just going to do a volcanic eruption right now. You ready? So if I volcanic erupt the whole place here, except from this table.
Oh, wow.
Now, does that change the way we look? For example, our population used to have blacks, whites, Hispanics, all of that. But in this, we kind of eradicated most of the blacks, right, that was around. Right? There's a few people with a cross skin, but blondes used to be, are you real blonde?
Yeah.
Blondes used to be a small minority of the class, weren't they? If there was this whole thing. But if this thing was the only one that survives, all of a sudden it's 25% of the population. Right? Right. But my point is that I just have a dirty blonde, it just makes me laugh. But do you guys get what I mean though? You see, we went from like 1 blonde and 30 to 1 blonde and 4. That's because they accidentally were the ones that survived. Are you with me? Do you get it? Now, why was it them and not somebody? An accident. Hey, random. Now, there's another one that's called founder effect. Brandon, Moran, you have it here? Can you explain the founder effect? Not really know? Oh, now let's try somebody else. Marla, can you explain the founder effect? And then we'll finish here. That's bottleneck. That's bottleneck. Founder effect is when something else. Nimrod?
It's like a small population that started within the region.
Yes! It's when a small population starts a place. So, ever wonder why, by the way, you're supposed to do an example of each, right? So the example of bottleneck effect would be like a forest. But there was a famous bottleneck effect that happened with the human race. Right? I'll give an example of this. It was, have you ever heard about 2000? You guys were young, but in 2002, 2003, there was a big tsunami that hit Indonesia, right? And then hundreds of thousands of people died, right? And then in one small island, the only surviving people were all colorblind. So now the whole island's population is suddenly colorblind. Now it's a real thing, right? But that's bottleneck. Are you with me? Alright, so here's another example, okay? A massive disease strikes. Even though that's a little bit selection. But still, it's massive. Everybody dies. Accidentally, a group that was not exposed to the disease survives. That's the new population. That's what happened with Native Americans, when white people first came. Right? And that changes who they are, who they look like because of that. Right? Okay. Actual, for example, of founder effect is even more clear. People often wonder why Asians have slanted eyes. Okay? And that's a thing that's true. Now, by the way, can I say something? When I look at, remember what I just said about race? You know what I said about race and how it makes no sense? I'm not talking about this too. When I look at my eyes in the mirror, okay, my eyes are kind of tiny. And my brother's is even tinier. None of us are Asian. That's just natural diversity. I know a lot of Asian people that have eyes much bigger than my eyes are. In fact, Christina's eyes might be bigger than mine. Right? Now, right? They are, aren't they? So, do you see how stereotypes are dangerous? Are you with me? Having said that, don't Asian people have a peculiar look? Let's be honest. They have a look, right? Majority of them have a certain, on average, a certain look. Now, that look, why is it like that? Then people come and they choose evolution, right? Oh, I know how to explain it. It's natural selection. Something in Asia made it better to have slanted eyes. Maybe it was too sunny, so they had to squint. First of all, that sounds like Lamarckian, where you squint and you pass that on, right? But it's nothing to do with that. It's just genetic drift. Because this is what happened. The theory is someone in Africa evolved a mutation, right, that was born that way. And it was probably ostracized from the rest of the group because they look different. Are you with me? So you know what they did? They picked up the stuff, they moved to Asia. And from there, they start a new community, which now is the biggest community on this planet. Are you with me? Now, that community all look like that. But why? Because of natural selection? No, because of founder effect. Now, if you notice, the Native Americans are also a little bit slanted eyes, right? Because you know who they come from. They come from Asians that caused the Bering Sea Bridge 10,000 years ago, right? That's why Native Americans, right? It does make sense. That's migration and another founder effect. Why are all the Native Americans similar? Because they all come from the same ancestors. Are you with me? A biological example, the finches in the Galapagos Islands, they all look a certain way because they all come from the same mother finch. These were the mechanisms of microevolution. Are any questions about anything else in the chapters that you would like to go over that's not on the LSU objectives, but you did not understand, this is your chance to ask. Okay, we only have, again, less than 10 minutes. Collect more evidence for the essays. All right? Good work. Yeah, we will continue that activity at the beginning of next class.
Which one's frozen, which one's con? The one that says con.
So next class we'll do the two activities. One microevolution one and this one. Okay? So continue collecting evidence from essays. They're over there. Yes. So index. Oh, it's mine. You're gonna put. If you have to start a new notebook on the index of the new notebook, right? For topics from ecology to whatever, see volume 1. Are you with me? And then start volume 2. And on the index from volume 1, you say starting from ecology, see volume 2. Are you with me? On the 10 minutes which are left, collect evidence for that you're going to use to write the essay next time. And I'm going to be checking notes, not notebook, the notebooks. Hey, I forgot to check who had notes from Microevolution. So, since I didn't do the quiz today, this is a little chance if you didn't do it, I'm going to check them next time. Okay?
Yes, for cereal!
Yeah, I need to I'm just gonna go.
I need Brandon. Give me Brandon. I need
Hold on, I have an idea to make this faster. Excuse me. Excuse me. It doesn't matter, guys. You can use any article from in here. Here. These are pro and these are con. Don't mix them up. Are these con or pro?
Gordon, give me a con.
Are those pro or con? Are they con? They really? These are more pro articles right here. Collect evidence from articles, people. Collect evidence from articles. Make sure to note the sources. Guys, I took 30 minutes of class time to teach you again how to study. Don't disappoint next quarter. Yes.
Yo.
Yeah, I still need to check a lot of people, so I'm doing that right now. Huh? Doesn't matter. It goes all in one pile. It's fine. You can use 7 period articles. It doesn't matter.
I got Frank's.
Grinding. Let's hear it.
No, wrong.
Next class, during the activity time, if you have gotten a bad grade for your notebook but want to fix it, you can show it to me.
Those are the notes they said.
You're supposed to have a cover page, or decorative cover page, before the index starts. And your name is supposed to be in the front cover.
I have it.
In the front cover, it has to be in there. So that's 2 things which you need to fix. And then it goes general ecology, population ecology. You did out of order?
Yeah.
Community ecology. Where are the objectives?
The objectives for ecology at the beginning.
No, for each topic. I mean, at the beginning of each topic, you're supposed to have objectives listed. You know.
Yeah.
So this is for general ecology, but then when you're doing ecosystems or population, you have to do the same thing again. You know, and you don't have that. So I only see one of the objectives, and I see community ecology, but not ecosystem ecology. Yeah, you know, the mock-up is a little disorganized. You got to organize this better.
Yeah, but I can't change it now.
You can fix it from now on.
Yeah.
All right. Make sure it's done correctly from now on. All right. So let me see. Hold on. I have to rewrite the rubric because I forgot. Cover. Go to work. I'll call you. Go to work. I'll call you. Guys, let's talk more work. Use the time wisely. 5 minutes left. Do as much as you can. You will have half the class next time to finish collecting evidence and writing the essay. It'll be like 30 minutes long, the activity. The essay is not easy to do. Collect evidence from 3 sources, pro and con evolution. Yes. 5. Yes. It's a 5-paragraph essay. Short, but yes, 5-paragraph essay. Welcome to pre-AP biology. Miss Abreu is making them do it at home. Like a whole paper, they have to type it up, submit it to a plagiarism scanner. Stop complaining, all right?
I feel bad for my cousin.
Actually, you can all thank her. This became a much bigger project now.
What? I don't get it.
It's going to be a homework project. We're going to do a massive writing. It's going to be 20 pages long.
I'm going to cry.
Yes.
All right, can we be happy with 30 minutes? 5 short paragraphs, is that okay? Okay.
This is the paper that I
can make it worse, is what I'm trying to say, yes?
that I had my notes on already. They said they can't find mine.
Oh, this is all I have.
Oh my god. They're turning blue.
Yes. I'll call you. Just take a seat, go to work. I'll call you if I have time.
Well, they were becoming wider.
I'm writing the rubric here because I forgot.
Here, put this back.
Collect pieces of evidence from 3 different pro and 3 different con sources. Make sure to write down what the source name and origin was and how reliable you think it is before, in addition to collecting evidence from it. You're going to need that for the essay.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Do you have meetings every Tuesday?
No.
Oh, so you're doing
2 to 30, yes.
I'm already done. I understand you're busy.
Yes, I really cannot talk right now, like at all.
It's different. No, just happened.
So I do objectives. No.
And the
Ecology, community ecology, ecosystem ecology,
Yeah, but I gave you like a that's the point. That's the point. Yeah. But you could do it.
15, 16, 13, 18. Alright, what did I say you have to have? You're supposed to have a cover page, a name in the cover, decorative first page, the index, page numbers, objectives, notes, and topic title for everything. That's in there too. I'm missing something. There's 1 point missing. Whatever, let me just see. So he didn't have the cover or the decorative first page. He had the page numbers, but he's missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 times 5? 60. That's pretty bad. Sasha, show me your notebook really quick. Mariana Cartay is not here, right? And then Sophia Diaz, show me your notebook really quick. And also Darian and Catherine. No, Catherine already saw it. Darian, Sophia, and Sasha are the only ones left. If you do show me again, it's kind of, you can do it next class or on your own time, okay? Because I already checked yours. The last 3 of you, please come.
So I thought it was good to share notebook, but that wasn't so good.
Yeah, it's okay. For future purposes, don't.
Yeah. So
Where is the? I'll just start here. You have your name in the front. Yes, and you have this. Then you have an index. So you just have a volume 2. That's all, right? So general ecology, objectives are very nice, pretty, right? Pretty notes. Community ecology, ecosystem ecology with objectives, population ecology. There's only one objective, population ecology, and then you have environmental science notes attached in the back.
and then
Evolution to start. You're gonna hit another class here or no? So when you finish, when you run out, you start on the volume. Okay? Perfect, Sasha. That's how you do it. Hey, Sasha, you're doing much better, aren't you? You see? You adapt. Okay? And you did really good in tests too, right? I'm proud of you. Name in the cover.
do we put like a sticker or something?
It has to be there. Okay?
That's what I did.
Ecology, very nice. Community ecology, objectives, very nice. You don't like writing the back?
No, because like I see the writing.
It bothers you?
And yeah.
No problem.
Unless I do it.
Just remember that, just as you're writing, just hear it sounds like this. Every time you hear that, remember it's a tree that fell. Just remember that. Actually, you know that there's actually not a problem with deforestation for paper. We plant more trees than we cut for paper purposes. Paper mills have huge plantations of trees. Deforestation is the problem is for agriculture. You saw the trailer? I'm so excited!
I got tickets already.
I'm so excited!
Mr. Pereira,
I can't! I got an outfit to wear the first day!
It shows hand dead, man.
What?
It shows hand dead.
I know. I know. I know. Or maybe that.
Or maybe, right.
We don't know. Mysterious are the ways of the force.
Yeah, it's got.
Right?
It looks awesome though.
But I mean, come on, he was pretty old by then, anyway.
Yeah, no, he wanted to die since part 6. So I guess he got his wish.
Yeah.
Got a nice little bit. Anyway.
All right, see you later. Very
Do
good.
you have the car ready?
Last one, huh?
Do you have the car ready? What car? Back to the Future. How are you?
No, I don't have a car. Well, we're gonna do something else. So, okay, very nice.
Wait, can we get this back to you?
Guys, put them back in the piles. Put them back in the piles so Seventh period can use it.
Miss Eva, do we keep the paper?
Just keep the paper, yes.
We could do it on paper.
As soon as you come in next time, we're gonna start with this, okay? And I'll have these charts for the essay on the board.
The essay is going to be so awesome to try.
You have community ecology, ecosystems, but what are the objectives for ecosystems? You didn't have it, right?
I did them like because I did them long, so I did them all together in the beginning.
Okay. Very good, man. That will help. Yes.
Is that right if I come by after school?
Oh, you want to present? Sure.
I'm here to catch some more Legos.
What? How many do you have?
I think I have 26.
Now, you know, maybe you should hold on to them because you actually get a bonus for actually building something within and telling me a story while you're turning it in.
When do you
next time you do it.
When do you close breaks?
Friday. But the other thing too is that, I'm going to tell you that. Do you have a name?
Yeah.
So why cash in the Legos at all? Are you with me, I'm saying? Although it doesn't matter because points that you have which are extra, they will actually roll over for next quarter. So you can cash them in anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it won't help you now, I'll make it count next quarter. Are you with me, I'm saying? What?
Will these help?
Depends how far you are from them. Where are you right now? 85 means you probably need like 5 or 6 levels to make it. So that's like...
How could I?
You're not gonna need it. So you got to an 8?
I had 89 this morning.
Well, because of that. You know? But, hold on to it. Let's see how far you get by Friday. And then next week, I'll cash them in if it works. Alright? Put us in the 5th period drawer, please.
How's your day going?
Very nice. How's yours? Yeah? I'm about to ruin it.
Hey, Mr. Lee, the club that we have on Fridays.
Alright, take out tablets. Listen to me. Here, talk to me later. Please take a seat. Take out tablets. And I want to teach you how to do something. Alright? Everybody take out the tablets. One for every 2 or 3 people. Guys, please pile up the activity papers in one pile. One nice pile, please. Thanks. Yes, please.
By all means, Gary, I find it incredibly decent. Yeah.
Can you put this in 5th period's box, please? And then close it and put it in its place, please.
If you look at on the patient.
AP Biology goes up, 5th period goes where AP Biology is. Alright, listen to me. Everybody open the Google Drive app in the tablets. There's a tablet there still, can be used. Get that tablet, share it. Everybody open the Google Drive and then go to the home screen of the G Drive app. Yes. Where's that? Where's that? I go get it. Shh.
No, you don't need to put your
Can I have this? Can I have this, please? I'm waiting for people are still being loud.